the one that we're still teaching. Okay, it's the same book, so there's no change. It's called Provisions for the Youth. Now, don't worry if you can't see
Shall
much.
you sit down correctly?
I will post a
be
YouTube
focused.
video so you guys can review what I was saying. Okay, Provisions for the Youth. So last time we presented you guys the three parts of the deen: Al-Iman, Al-Islam, and Al-Ihsan. And the way the book is laid out is that each chapter is based on each of those parts. So we were in chapter 1, which is Al-Iman,
What's his name?
and
Right
it
here.
translates in belief or faith.
Tell him to move to the side.
I'm going to write here belief. And we were talking about the parts that the Sheikh was explaining in Al-Iman, belief. First, he stated to believe in Allah, and we talked about Allah. The next part is belief in the angel. That's where we stopped. So I'm going to read through the book, and then we'll discuss about the angels. He says, as regards the angels, faith in them is asserting and being really convinced that their existence is unquestionable and that they are entirely safeguarded against sinning. So angels are different creation from human beings. We human beings, when Allah created our souls, He put it in this body, and this body has a weakness. Which is that weakness? The love of this world. The love of following the nafs. And that's the reason why we sin. We sin because of this body, not by who we are. Because if Allah took out this soul never sins, because the soul was created to obey Allah. But once we're put in here, understand that it's a challenge that Allah give us. For example, let's say you're playing a video game. At the beginning of the video game, at level 1, you don't have a weapon that's strong. But once you move on in the video game, your weapon upgrades and it becomes stronger. But we are in level 1, which is this body. But when you follow the deen, worshiping God, identifying what you should do, that's when you learn to control your nafs. So it's a challenge. Just understand it like that. But the angels, they're created in a way where they will never sin. That's a special creation. That they are creatures who neither excrete feces nor urinate. They are wholly purified. So angels, they don't use the bathroom. Nothing comes out of them. Humans, that's what happens. Animals and so on and so on. Neither do angels eat nor they drink. So they don't eat, they don't drink like humans. They don't sleep, Muhammad. They don't sleep. They don't feel tired. That's the weaknesses that Allah put into the human body, but not the angels. They are eternally placed in high honor, and none of them disobey the eternal absolute. What you can understand higher honor is that they are created in such a way where they worship Allah without sinning. You can call them like saints, those who are attached to Allah during their whole creation. They're in the heavens. And when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ went to the heavens during the night of Rajab, he was able to see many of the angels that Allah created, and he saw them worshiping Allah constantly. There are some angels, since Allah created them until this day, they're bowing down, just bowing like this. There are some of them who praises Allah continuously without stopping. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, non-stop. And he saw some angels who had 1,000 tongues. Each tongue pronouncing a different language, worshiping Allah in different languages. So it's mind-blowing. When we look at this world, we think that there's only these languages that we know, but over there we don't know what's going on. It's beyond our understanding. So that's a very good position that Allah put them into, where they're constantly worshiping Him. And also, if you guys have questions, you can cut me, alright? Each one of them carries out any order he has been given by Allah. So, the angels are organized in a certain way where it's like a government. Like you have a prime minister, this is the minister of agriculture, this is the minister of this and that. So they're all organized in a way. So there are many of them, but I'm just going to write down the ones that you hear often in the Quran, especially in many stories. So I'm going to write in asterisks. Can you tell me, will this appear in the video? Okay, I'm going to write until here. So one of them is Jibreel alayhi salam. In English, you hear often people say Gabriel, it's him. Alright? It's the angel Gabriel. Now Jibreel, he is appointed as the chief of the angels. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would receive an ayah or surah of the Quran, put down your phone.
I'm taking notes.
Oh, okay, I see. When he hears an ayah of the Quran, it will be Jibreel who would bring it to him. Now, he's not going to come to the Prophet ﷺ as an angel, because Jibreel, from what scholars said, he's huge. He has a lot of wings. Like, it's beyond our mind. But when he comes as a human. And that's how he would report to the Prophet ﷺ the ayahs that come from Allah. That's how the Quran was compiled. He came, spoke to the Prophet ﷺ would repeat it to the people. People memorize it and write it down. So he is the chief of the angels. And he would come often not only to bring the revelation, but he would also teach the Prophet ﷺ the things from the unseen. Don't mind this cockroach, okay? So the other angel is Mikael. The reason why it's raining, the reason why you have tornadoes, heavy winds, is this angel. By Allah's order, He controls the weather. What is it? Yeah, the Christians, they call him Michael. It's the same name. Alright, this is angel Michael. So that's Mikael. He controls the weather. And remember, they don't do all this by their own will, but by Allah's will. What is it, Muhammad?
So Allah entrusted the power of the weather to that angel Mikael.
Yes.
Why did He entrust it to him? But why not Allah can do it Himself?
He can do it himself. But you know, it's one of those questions where I personally cannot explain you, because it's just like when Allah created us. He didn't directly bring us the revelation. He passed it through Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I can just see it as like that, but that's just how Allah does what He does. He can do it by Himself, but I just think that He wants our belief to be, stronger. We're not seeing Him, we're not able to hear Him, but He's putting us into the test. Do we believe in something we can't see? But it's something He puts on the test by telling us, this is how this happened, this is how this happened. Now, by learning, we learn that there is a superpower called Allah. It's a question I can't answer. That's the only thing I can tell you.
And it's also another way to show us how to organize our life. The way He created the angel, the prophet, and all that is to give us a way to organize our life and to set it on a way we give responsibility to people. Like here, when you come, I used to be in charge, and now it comes the time where I need to prepare some others who are gonna take over because I won't be here eternally. Now Muhammad is in charge. Khadim Work is here. He used to be a student like you guys, but he get prepared on a way that he can take over. And by the way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designated tasks and give it to angels and prophets. It shows us how we can inspire our life to get organized and get things go easier. He could have done it. It's just like when you are hungry and you eat, that's not the food who's gonna fill you up. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you have to go through that effort to go prepare food, put it in your mind, show it, and then swallow it in order to fill up your stomach and feel like you eat enough. You get what you need to survive or to sustain. Did you get it?
You guys understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright.
Why did Allah? Why is the body parts in the human like us different from the angels?
Yes, it's different. Like I said, from what is said so far, they don't eat, drink, sleep. They don't do
Yeah.
that.
Angels they make out of soul.
What's that? Soil.
The soul,
Oh.
the soul is that part of our body that kind of keep us alive. That's the part. It's more like the light.
Yes.
It's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us.
Mhm.
He makes it with the body. The soul is in prison in our body. So we have to purify our body in order to set ourselves to the level of the angel, where we can be free out of all kind of sin, all kind of idolatry, anything else by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to elevate ourselves to our previous state when we were creation. And angel, that's why they can sin. They can make sin. They all light. They all soul. They all pure. That's cause of our body. We do some evil thing. We make sin. We forget. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Tonto Bawa just said what I was about to say next, where the Sheikh said, their Lord, the everlasting, has created them from pure light. So that's just what he was talking about. So the other angels that are on the shoulders, when you're doing a sin or a good deed, these angels are gonna take note. Those angels will always be with you during your whole lifetime. Tontoba, are they called Kiraman and Katim?
The
The angels on the shoulder?
it's
Hatib, Hatib wala Ratib.
Hatib and Ratib and
Hatib.
no, it's Raqib and Atib
Raqib
and Atib.
and Atib.
Atib. Raqib and Atib.
Okay. So these two angels will always be with you. They're not gonna be there saying, Muhammad, that's a sin, don't do it. They're not gonna be talking to you. They're just watching.
Yeah. You're gonna be mindful that
Yeah.
he is gonna be your witness.
Okay.
I have a question. It's
Yeah.
a little off topic,
Mhm.
but you were talking about angels on your shoulders, right?
Yeah.
Hear you.
So
I'll explain his question.
let's say
Mhm.
you're willing to do a good deed, right?
Wow.
But it's not pure of intent, like it's not really genuine. But
Mhm.
like you want to make it seem like it is. Like is that kind of a sin?
Like showing off.
Now let's just say, right?
Uh-huh.
They were like. Your moms expect you to take out the trash, right?
Yeah.
But you usually don't do it.
Uh-huh.
But for this one time, you do it just so you can be like, oh yeah,
Oh.
mom gonna see I took out the trash.
Oh, you just do it because she tells you, but you don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
I see.
Is that a sin? A little.
No, it's not a sin, but we would say the intention is not there. Like the good deed's not there. It's just like when it's time to pray, you're praying, but intentionally you don't want to pray. But you're doing it because you heard about the sin that's going to be written if you don't do it. So the good deed is just going to be erased.
But isn't that prayer still gonna count? Cause
That prayer, like one of the obligations in prayer is the intention. If there's no intention, that prayer is nullified.
Cause I think we were talking about how some people pray because they love Allah, but some people just pray because
So that's different. Like you can pray with the intention of praying, but you know when it comes to developing that love with Allah,
yeah.
like it doesn't come right now. You build it up.
No, I know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying the person who pray because they love Allah versus the person who's praying because they fear Allah. Both of them are going to heaven, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but the person who's praying because he fears Allah,
but
Is-
it depends. Does he have the intent
one who
of
prays
praying?
right?
because he loves, because of the love, he's going to be higher ranked
Right.
than the one who's praying because of the fear.
Right,
Because he's doing it for a purpose.
right.
Mm-hmm.
If there was no hell or no heaven,
Mhm.
he wouldn't pray.
Yeah.
But the one who's doing it for love, regardless, he does it because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recommended. If even if he knows that after praying he will be sent to hellfire, he will keep praying because he does it for no interest. He is not expecting anything behind. He just do it for the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right.
And it's a very high ranked level
Right.
of belief.
Right. But all of us want to be that person right there. But we
You have to build it up.
Yeah.
right, you have but so when you're at the state of being the praying because you fear Allah, it's that like I'm saying like you don't always have the you might not have
It's
the
another level.
yeah, like I know it's another level. What I'm trying to say is
Yeah.
even if I prayed because I know I have to pray
Uh-huh.
and I didn't have the intention of praying, but it's not because I don't love Allah, it's because I fear him
You
at the
see it
moment.
as these kids learn the Quran.
How can I say? That's where you're gonna start.
Okay.
But your objective is to reach the level
Yeah.
where you're gonna do it just for love.
Okay.
We are human beings.
Mhm.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that we want certain things and we fear certain things.
Right.
And it's the way to put us on the right path so we can reach later the level we want us to be.
Mhm.
It's just like your if you take it on the primary school
Mhm.
up to college,
Right.
they will teach you things on your level of understanding.
Mhm.
But as you will go, most of the things they teach you at school,
Mhm.
when you first study, you will see that that was not true.
Mhm.
Because you were at that level of, and when they say you, the sun rises
The West.
in the west
Mhm.
and goes down. I mean, goes up in the east and goes down in the
In the
west.
West.
Because when you were young, that's what you see.
Mhm.
When you wake up, you will see it coming from the east.
Right.
And night time, you see it go
Coming
down by
from
the
the West.
west.
Right.
That kid who is 7, he doesn't understand that the
physics.
earth is turning around itself. He is not at that level of understanding. But you're going to teach him on a way that he can see it and believe it. But as he will go and get more mature,
You'll see it for
he
himself.
will know that, and if you explain to him that the rotation of Earth, he will be smart and mature enough to understand it.
Mhm.
That's how it is when it comes to worshipping as well. You will start from one level and then build it up until you reach the higher level.
Because my question is stemming from what he just said earlier about if you did something but you didn't have the like the thing about taking the trash out, because your mom likes when you take the trash out, but for this one moment right here you did it, you didn't have the intention of pleasing her, but you did it just because you wanted to get it over with. Does that really does
But
that
the thing is, that's where might take you to the level that
you want to be at?
not yes,
Okay.
because you can do it without having the intention.
Mhm.
But if you see your mom's reaction, that love you have from your mom,
Mhm.
you know that it's really hard for you to make her feel happy. But
Mhm.
just the way that you pick up the track, even though you don't have the intention,
Mhm.
you see how happy and how proud she is.
Mhm.
It can kind of push you to, yeah, next time I want to make her feel happy,
Okay.
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
And that's what's going to take you to, to that level of doing it now, not because you're faking it, but you're doing it because you want to
Okay.
reach that you want your mom to feel that,
Okay.
that to have that feeling on you.
Is that also the only level you can reach in order to start getting benefit, like in Allah's eyes, like receiving rewards for doing something like that? Because are you really receiving a reward for doing it when you didn't really have the intention of you just doing it just to do it?
It just depends on
Like
a lot of facts.
Okay.
having intention and wanting to please someone because
Mm.
of that, like that plays with the deed.
Right.
If you like do an act, that's why we always say do things because of Allah.
Okay.
Don't do it just to show off.
Okay.
Like if you see these kids,
Hmm.
most of them, when it comes time to pray,
Right.
you gotta not force them, but you're gonna encourage them to join
To
the
pray.
group and pray,
Uh-huh.
because they can get used to.
Right.
Even though they don't know, they can have their full focus on
Right.
when it comes to pray.
Right.
But the fact that they join in the group, knowing that 5 times a day they have to force themselves
Mhm.
to pray, that's what's gonna take them to that level
Okay.
later.
Okay.
Because if you just let them, because they're young, they don't know, they can't formulate the intention, they don't know what all the requirements of the prayer.
Mhm.
When they're gonna be at the age of praying,
They're still not.
they're not used to it. It's gonna be harder to bring them to the prayer. But now once they use it, as they will go, when you will teach them and talk to them about the importance and what it does,
Mhm.
it's already on their body.
Okay.
They already have that thing on them. It's going to be easier for them.
Mhm.
It's just like the fasting. An 8-year kid,
So if
you
guys
training on you push him to train himself on fasting.
Mhm.
If he get used to it
You're
at
gonna
age
start
10
fasting. Yeah.
and start fasting, when you're gonna be 18, when it's gonna become a mandatory for him, he's already used to it. It's just like getting him prepared.
Understandable.
Okay, so Ibrahim, we're gonna do after. We're just gonna finish up, alright? So you have these two other angels that are very important to think about. They're called Munkar and Nakir. Now, when a human being passes away, Allah takes your soul. But when you get to the grave, He's gonna put the soul back in. And the reason why is that before the judgment day, there's gonna be a questioning in the grave. And this is when you meet these two angels, Munkar and Nakir. Now, these guys, they don't have one type of appearance. They have two type of appearance depending on your condition. If you were someone who always disobey Allah, who end up in bad ways, they're gonna appear in a very scary way. If you were the opposite, you were a good person following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're gonna appear in a very pleasing way. Now, if you are a bad person or a good person, they're gonna ask you the same question. They're gonna say, who is your Lord? What is your book? Which prophet do you believe in? Now, these words is not like me sitting down in front of Muhammad asking him questions. Because at that point, it's your heart that's going to talk. You're going to talk what's out of your heart. And in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, there will be people who will say, I don't know. People who are going to say that. Now, mentally, that person knows. He knows that this Islam came from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. The book is the Quran. Allah is our God. He knows that. But the heart is going to speak. If you weren't attached to your deen, it's going to be clear during that moment. And these angels, they're so terrifying. that when they look at you, you will know. You guys see that when you guys see something scary, sometimes you have problem talking. If any of you experience being afraid of something, sometimes you have problem talking. So it's the heart that speaks, and there will be people who will be like that during that moment, and that's when the punishment of the grave start. Right, the soil is gonna press you until like milk comes out. Milk when you were a baby, that milk you drank is gonna stay and comes out. For those who aren't good people, they will be tortured, punished in that grave. And it's very harsh. There will be snakes. All of that is there. There is this man who had a dream of someone who passed away. He saw a snake biting his cheek. His name is Ataba bin Ghulam. That's the guy who passed away. Now, he asked that person in the dream, why are these snakes biting your cheeks? He said, because I was looking at women. That's why they're biting my cheeks. So that's just an example.
So,
Alright? We're gonna wait for the question. I'll just type the last part, alright? And then you can ask questions.
okay.
The last part, the last angel, Azrael. Now these are just stories that come from the visit of the Prophet ﷺ when he went to the heavens. Isra wal Miraj. You should hear that story. There's a surah called Al-Isra. You should check that surah out. It talks about that journey. When the Prophet ﷺ went there, he saw a huge angel. The angel was sitting somewhere. And then I think on his right side there was a tablet. On his left side there was a big tree. The tree had leaves, and he saw that each leaf has the name of a human being. My name is on that tree. Your names are on that tree. The name of every single creation is on that tree. Now, when Allah decides who is gonna die, if He says Muhammad is gonna die, my name is gonna highlight on the leaf, and the leaf will fall, and it will touch the tablet. Now, there's something else he saw. He saw that if the leaf turns white, that means this guy is a good person. If the leaf turns black, that means this guy is a bad person. And now when that happens, this very scary creation comes. Now, it's Malakul Maut, the angel of death. I don't know if Azrael is Malakul Maut, but there's a link because he described in that story Azrael and that the angel of death. I don't know if it's two separate things, but that's just how the story went. It might be wrong. So Azrael would call Malakul Maut, angel of death. When Prophet Muhammad saw it, he didn't see a scary figure. You know, Allah, when He shows you things, He shows you in a nice way. But Prophet Muhammad knew that this guy is the angel of death, but he doesn't look like this. And he told Allah, I want to see him, how He created him. And Allah told him, you can't handle it. But he said, I want to see it. And you know why he asked that question? He wants us to know what he looks like. So we can fear, we can think about it. That's why he's asking. Muhammad, Prophet ﷺ, he doesn't need to be scared of anything because he's destined to be successful. But we who forget, we need to know these things. We need to be scared so we can follow. Now, Allah started changing him. And when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ saw it, he fainted. He woke up and Jibril asked him, what did you see? And he said, when you look at the angel of death, like if he was standing, it's like that my head is touching the ceiling. He said these things are long, like his shoulders are very long. He has long hair that are gray. It comes all the way down. It's all black. That clothing is all black. His face is black. When he speaks, fire comes out of the mouth. With the eyes, fire comes out of the mouth. That's what he looks like. And I remember Tondoba was saying one thing about angel. He said that he would visit us like 3 times a day. I think that's what you said.
About
When the angels visit us like 3 times a day, angel of death.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't
So
recall it, but I know not only him, but even the earth. Every day when we wake up, he reminds us when we put our first step to remember that there will be coming a day where we will be underground. And we gotta keep in mind that all our action or every single step we're doing, we're putting throughout the day, where gonna be the upcoming. If it's gonna be on good deeds for us, or if it can be something we may regret. And once we get in there, we don't have no chance to catch up or to rectify or to correct what we did. So everything around us is pulling us, keeping our mind away and our hurt away from thinking of that day. But you gotta know that, as he said it, no one knows when his leaf gonna fall down and be on the table. And when it comes out, the Prophet ﷺ said it, if you are about to take this sip, it's not gonna go nowhere. Wherever he finds you, that's where he's gonna take you. And you always have to be mindful, whatever you may be doing. It doesn't matter if you are young, if you are healthy, wealthy. There is a deadline for all of us, and no one knows. And if you see what's going on around, we have more young people dying than other people, and they not suffering of anything. Their time just comes up, and we don't know when ours gonna be. That's why you should never be fooling yourself and just blindly following this life. Keep in one side of your head or of your mind that it's coming. And no one will be with you in your grave. As much as your parents love you, or your friends, or your wife, or whoever, your brothers, they will never be with you inside. You will be alone. And you will be paying for every single thing you've done in your life. So don't ever let this life fool you up. And you will learn it every single day. I heard him always saying, I used to be a student, or I used to be a kid playing with those toys. Now I'm here. It's all of us. It's just a stage in our lives. Hadim Mboj used to be here at Muhammad's place. I used to pull his ears or put a stick on his head in order for him to focus and to learn. Now, when I was doing it, probably he used to hate me. But now he knows what the benefit of it. When we used to sit down and I talked to them about what they should avoid, why they should focus at school, now he's seeing the reason why. And it goes to all of you guys, because those who are messing around, what's going to happen later? They would miss the time. They will see the people of the same age driving nice car, living in a nice house, taking care of their business, having a very cool life, while they will be under their parents' roof. They will have to call to get some changes from the people they used to be at the same school or at the same class. It's just something you have to learn from. Who you want to become later, you have to start building it right now. And those are things, if you get a chance to have this kind of meeting, to have this kind of people around you talking to you about it, you should get full advantage of it. You can fool everybody in life, but not yourself. You always have to keep that in mind. Whatever you may be doing, gonna catch up on you later. Your parents, they doing their part, keeping you out of needs, taking care of all the bills, trying to put you in a good school, trying to make sure you have all the conditions to succeed. But there are certain things they will never be able to do at your place. It's just your mom cooking. She can cook, make a good food and everything. She can even get the spoon, get the meal and put it in your mouth. But she will never show it at your place or swallow it at your place. So there are things you are responsible of, and you have to be mindful and be aware of it. Know that life is just different stages. On each stage you gotta make sure that you fulfill it on the good way. Because once you pass it, you can't come back. You can't. I wish I could go back to my 7 or 8 of age. I would force my parents to send me to the Dara so I can memorize the whole Quran. I can't do it anymore. But the only way I can catch up, if I have a kid, to send